Hello everyone, this is Himanshu and welcome to my channel. So in this video we will learn about MVVM pattern. So before starting this video, make sure you subscribe my channel so that you get all the notification of my new videos. And let's get started. Okay, so before starting anything, make sure you add some dependencies in our Gradle file. So these are the some dependencies which you want to add in our Gradle file. So I will provide these dependencies in our description box. So simply go and copy from there, and make sure you apply this plugin KOTLIN kapt. And if you do these things, you are good to go. So after that, I will go in our design part and simply add a text view and a fetch data. And I will provide fetch data id to our button and simply text view it is my data. So now in our main activity, so we have to create two classes. So in our MVVM pattern, we actually create a repository class and a view model class. So in our repository, okay, I will take a simple example. Suppose you want to fetch data from the internet and pass to our UI. So in our MVVM pattern, we actually take the data from the internet in our repository, okay, and after that we will pass this data to our view model, and view model will actually provide this data to our UI part, so we can simply show in our UI. Okay, so these are our MVVM pattern. So in our repository we will actually deal with databases also. It is up to you what you can really want to do with our project. So I will create two classes. One is for repository, repository, that's all, and one is for our view model. So my view model. Okay, so in our repository I create a let init variable s which is of type string, and create a function get data which will actually return a string. Okay, now I am going to sleep this thread for 3 seconds, so it actually look like we are fetching data from the internet. So just I am pretending this fetching the data from the internet, so that's why I sleep this thread for 3 seconds, and after that I will simply initialize our s with ram and return this s. So that's all for our repository class, nothing fancy here. And after that I go to in our view model, or in our view model we actually extend this class with view model class. Okay, not view, this is view model. And I am going to create a variable which is repo, and it is the object of our repository class, and simply create a function get data which will simply return string, and we simply return our repository data to our UI. So that's why I simply use this repo and call this get data function which actually return the string. Okay, so that's all for this my view model class. So I am not doing some tough task here, it is very pretty simple so that you can understand very easily. Okay, now it's time to our main activity. So simply you create let init var my view model. Okay, so after that you have to initialize this my view model. So it is not simple, so you can say my view model is equals to my view model. Okay, so if you want to try this, then it will not work. Okay, so you have to do something like this: view model provider pass our owner which is this class, and simply take the class from, as its name suggests, it will provide the view model. So in our case it is my view model class name and class.java. So this is our class name. Okay, so simply you can see my view model class. Okay, and after that I will simply fetch data and attach set on click listener. So this is basically the button id which we can create in our activity main.xml part, and my data dot text is our my data is our id of our text view, and I want to set our upcoming data from view model to this text. So that's why I use this my data dot text, and my view model dot get data, you can see here it is returning string. So simply take the suggestion, and that's all for this project. It will complete. Now I am going to run this emulator and see whether our project is running correctly or not. Okay, so now our project will run successfully, you can see here. And when I click this fetch data, so you can see our thread will freeze, main thread, and after 3 seconds this text view will initialize as RAM. So what is going under the hood? So when we click this button, it will simply go to this myViewModel.getData, and simply this getData function will actually call this getData function, which will sleep the thread for 3 seconds, and after that it will initialize this s with RAM and return this s. So if you want to remove this line, you can remove this, it will not affect to this function. I will simply create this string. Okay, so if you want, you can ignore this. And okay, so it will sleep our thread for 3 seconds, it will initialize it and return our string. So it will return a string, it will go here, and this thing will actually return a string and pass this return type to this get data function. So it simply get data function will actually take this string which is coming from our repository class and go and give to our main activity. So that's all the thing is going on within the view model and repository. So that's all for this video, and if you like my video, please subscribe my channel.